All right, folks, here we are again, and today we are going to do a video on what I do when I get a new Vexilar flasher for the year. You guys are actually seeing take 2 because I filmed this video yesterday and screwed it all up. So this is attempt number 2. Hopefully it'll go a little bit smoother. But this year, Vexilar came out with their FLX18 new model. It's a combination of the old FL18 and the old FLX20. Both have been discontinued, and they combined all the features from each of them into the FLX18, which is what I have here. Now, this is how it comes stock. All right, this is right out of the box. All right, you've got a neat little tackle box here that I'm just going to stick out of the way for now because it's going to get in the way. It comes with a float for your transducer. All right, so this would just sit in your hole, and it would float your transducer into in the water, keep it centered. Personally, I don't like these floats. They kind of get in the way. You've got that much of a space in a 6-inch hole, so it takes up a lot of room. So one of the first things I do is float. That goes over there somewhere. All right, now what we're going to do, that takes care of that. In place of that is this neat little arm that slides right over this rod holder here, like so. And then what you do is you have this kind of in the way here. You have this rubber stop, all right, that you can slide up and down depending on how thick the ice is and that type thing. That goes in that arm, and then what that does is now that suspends your transducer. So now instead of a big round float like this, you're going to go to a nice small cable like this. And then what I do is I just pull it up against the hole so that the hole is like this, and it doesn't take up any room. But first, what we're going to do, the most important upgrade, this just goes out of the way there, is a battery. Now, these units come stock with a lead acid battery, and I think I weighed it yesterday. It was 5.58 pounds, something along those lines. I have the lithium ion battery, which is a 12 amp 12-hour battery. Where are we going? There we go. All right, and this is about 2.82 pounds lighter than the battery that I'm about to take out of the unit, which makes a big difference when you're carrying this thing around on the ice and stuff all day long. So super simple to do. This is literally the most difficult upgrade that you would ever have to do, and it goes along like this. You simply pop the screen off, 2 little bolts here. Okay, that goes like that. You pop your screen off, you can lay it right down right there. That gives you access to the 2 screws that are right there for the transducer holder, which you need to get out of the way. So we're going to pop these 2 screws. Excuse me, that's sniffing. I still have a cold. It's crazy. I think I had it in the last video too. Alright, we're gonna go like this. We're gonna try not to drop everything. Alright, there's that. And then your transducer holder comes right off. Flop this around. Now you have full access to your battery. Simply pop your 2 cables off, positive and negative. Pull this heavy guy out. Not only is this heavy, but basically you're only going to get about, depending on how long you fish, you're going to get a day, maybe a little more out of this battery, as opposed to the much lighter battery. You could probably fish 2, if not 3 full days on a single charge. So that's one of the reasons we do that. And that just simply slides back in. Those wires go out of the way. We hook our negative. We hook our positive. And that's basically it. Now we're just going to go ahead and put the transducer holder back on. That simply goes there. Start that screw. Start that screw. All right, and that's it. Your battery is done. We're going to put our screen back to where that needs to go. We're going to try anyways. Okay, 1, 2. All right, here we go. Now, that's all set there. All my molds are knocking together. That's going to drive me nuts. Okay, so we have changed the battery. We've added an arm onto the existing rod holder. I got a rod around here somewhere. I did have yesterday. There we go. All right, so as you can see, you got a nice spot for a rod holder right there. And then your transducer gets held right there. Now, the next super easy update is what is called a snow shield. And it is simply just a plastic shield that goes over top of this. Boom. That's it. It's done. Now, instead of snow getting caught on that lip that goes around the screen, it's a straight shot down, and it falls off so you can keep your screen nice and clean. Next, what we've got is called a glow ring. All right, and what this does is when you have jigs that have glow paint on them, this is what charges them. So, again, super simple. This is a port for charging. The charger that comes with this just plugs into this, plugs into the wall, charges everything up. Your glow ring goes into this little spot here. Simply push down, boom. It's installed, and then what you do is you just plug it into your existing for your battery charger here, and it's got a switch, and it just turns on. All right, I don't think you might be able to see the glow there, but what there is there's LED lights in there, and you just simply drop your jig down in there for 4, 5, 6 seconds, and it charges your jig. Drop it down the hole, fish it for a little bit, come back and charge it up again. All right, now it comes with some Velcro, and a lot of times what you have to do with the Velcro on the switch is you have to use a little bit of 5-minute epoxy, because the adhesive that's on the back of here doesn't really stick super well. So I did put all this on in the previous video, so at least I saved you some of that stuff. But all I do is I put one piece of Velcro right here on this arm that supports the screen, another piece of Velcro here, and then you just simply put it on there, and it's mounted. You can turn around and hide your wires so that they're out of the way, and you have a nice neat package. All right, easy to turn the glow ring on. All right, that sits there like that, easy to shut off. And the nice thing about the glow ring also is it doubles as a rod holder. All right, so now you can have 2 rods, grab your unit, you can go around and hole hop. You got 2 different presentations, you're good to go. So that's that. The FLX18 comes with what's called a DD100. This is a digital depth gauge and a battery monitoring system. So you can push it and it'll tell us that our battery is 100%. Now, with a lead acid battery, it will tell you when the battery's at 70%, 60%, 50%, whatever, because that's just how lead acid batteries work. The lithium ion batteries, however, they hold their charge constant, and then it just drops right off. So as far as the battery monitoring part of this, it's really not too useful when you have a lithium ion battery, because it's just going to read 100% and it's just going to drop off. So there is that. However, the digital depth gauge part of it does still work. I will get into all the actual features of this unit when we're out on the water, because in the shop you're not going to see a whole lot. It's going to be a lot easier to just show you when I'm doing it in real time out there fishing. So that is how I set up my new units before I get out on the ice. A couple little mods. All right, get rid of the float, add an arm, put the snow shield on, put the glow ring on. If they don't come with a DD100, this one does, but if they don't, you can add that. I've got a couple on the wall over there that I can add on to other models. And that's that. You just wrap your transducer cord around here, put your transducer in the holder, and there you go. You're good to go. That's the new FLX18. New this year. Excellent unit. Not bottom of the line, not top of the line in their series. It's just a good all-around unit. Cover you in a bunch of different applications. All right, so we're going to get rid of that one for now. Now, what we have here is my workhorse, basically. This is the top of the line. This is the FLX18. This thing is the Cadillac of all flashers. This does a lot of stuff. Again, it'd be easier to show you out on the ice, but I've done a lot of the same things. I've got my glow ring. All right, that can go there. This that I didn't do the FLX18 yet, but I've got a little clicker, which is kind of cool, and I mount that on here, and that goes right there. So you can keep track, and it's fun to have a little competition with your friends and that type thing. Right? All about the clicks. I got rid of the float. I've got the arm there. What's nice about this particular case, this is a different case. This is the Pro Pack Plus case that comes with the FLX38. You can buy these cases separately if you wanted to get an 18 or another unit and put it on this case. You could do that. So some of the features of that is this comes with built-in rod holders. So now I can put a rod there. I can put a rod there. I can put a rod in my glow ring. And then there is another one over here, but I've got my camera in the way, and then we're about to talk about that. In the back, it has a built-in transducer holder. So it is a little more difficult to get to the battery on this, but these come with a lithium ion battery already installed, so you don't have to upgrade that. All right, it does have a little spot you can put like a cold snap toothpick. These things are essential when you're fishing for panfish and stuff to get the hooks out and you don't ruin your jigs. I mean, it's just nice and easy. If they got it down in there, you can just pop it right out and you're good to go. Saves the fish, saves the jig. It's awesome. Little spot for like some hemostats or some type of device like that. And then it's also got like a 1/4 threaded hole here that you can put a ram mount ball here, which I did, and then the ram mount. And then I've got the Vexilar camera that just came out last year, and now that's mounted here. All right, so what I can do in this particular setup is, if I wanted to, I could pop the glow ring out, and I could add another rod holder with an arm over here. All right, so I got two arms. The camera has the same stop on it like the transducer does. So I could turn around and off this arm, I could hang my camera down in there, and I could have my transducer over here. I'd have to drill two holes, obviously, and then maybe one in the middle to actually fish out of. But that's how you can set up this camera. This has infrared lighting, and it has multiple different angles that you can turn the camera. All right, so you can, for all sorts of different applications there. You can put this down the hole and you can aim right at your jig. You could put it down on the bottom and then bring the camera up so it's looking up at your jig. You could suspend it above so it's looking down at your jig. Lots of different possibilities with that. This camera has a compass in it, so you know which way the camera's pointing. It has a depth gauge, so you know how deep the camera is. It also has capabilities of taking pictures and videos via an SD card that does not come with it, but you can put it in there, and then you can, take videos of your fishing, which is super cool. So, yeah, you simply turn this on. All right, boom, that's that. And then, all right, there's the camera. All right, and that, boom. Awesome accessory, and very helpful to help you figure out what the fish are doing. All right, yeah, so you guys probably saved a little bit because yesterday's video was quite a bit longer. Today I just kind of decided to get down to the meat and potatoes and just give you the basics, which we have done. Again, look for future videos. I'm going to be out on the water. You're going to see how I'm using all of this stuff and how it's going to make me and you a better fisherman. So, I guess, until then, I'm out. See ya.